The last sunset on Earth painted the sky in shades of red and orange, much like it had done for billions of years. But this time was different. This time, humanity was leaving. Commander James Stone stood at the observation deck of the massive colony ship Terran Hope, watching as the final groups of colonists boarded through the giant airlocks. The ship, nearly 2 miles long, was humanity's greatest achievement and their last hope for survival. Earth wasn't the same anymore. The oceans had risen, eating away at the coastlines. The air had become thick with pollution, and the ground could barely grow food. But it was this harsh world that had made humans strong enough to survive what was coming next. "Commander, you need to see this," said Bill, the ship's head scientist, rushing onto the deck. His gray hair was messy, and his eyes were wide with excitement. In his hands, he held a strange device they had found in the ancient ruins in Antarctica. The device had changed everything. "What is it?" Stone asked, turning away from the window. "We finally translated more of the alien text," Bill said, his hand shaking as he showed Stone the screen. "Earth. It's classified as a Class 13 death world, the highest rating in the galaxy. We always thought we were alone, but they've been watching us. All this time, they've been watching us grow on what they consider the deadliest planet they've ever found." Stone looked back at Earth through the window. Their home. Their deadly, beautiful home. No wonder we found their observation post in ruins. They couldn't handle our gravity, our weather, our animals. The ship's computer announced the final boarding call. 50,000 people were now inside the Terran Hope, with 4 more ships of similar size waiting in orbit. 250,000 humans, ready to find a new home among the stars. "Engine check complete," the ship's AI reported. "All systems are green." Stone walked to his command chair and pressed the broadcast button. His voice would reach all 5 ships in the fleet. "This is Commander Stone. For 100,000 years, humanity has looked up at the stars and dreamed. We built tools, discovered fire, created cities, and reached for the heavens. Each step was hard. Each victory was earned with sweat and blood on a world that challenged us every day." He paused, looking at the crew around him. Their faces showed both fear and determination. "Today we learned something incredible. Earth isn't just our home. It's the deadliest planet known to the galaxy. Every step we took, every challenge we overcame, was on a world that other species couldn't even visit. They called our home a death world. But we call it the forge that made us strong." The engines hummed to life, their deep vibrations spreading through the massive ship. "We're not running away. We're not giving up. We're taking humanity's strength to the stars. And if there's life out there, they're about to meet the species that thrived on the galaxy's deadliest world." The 5 ships rose as one, their engines pushing against Earth's gravity, the same gravity that had made their bones dense and their muscles powerful. As they broke through the atmosphere, Stone thought about the ancient ruins they'd found. The alien observation post had been abandoned, its structure crushed by Earth's heavy gravity, its systems destroyed by simple rust and water. What the aliens saw as deadly, humans had called home. "Course laid in for the Centauri system," reported Tom, the navigator. His fingers moved across the control panel with practiced ease, ready to initiate faster-than-light drive. Stone nodded, his eyes still on the blue planet below. "Take us out." The stars blurred as the ships accelerated. Humanity had survived ice ages, predators, diseases, and natural disasters. They had evolved on a world that the galaxy feared. And now, they were taking that strength to the stars. Earth grew smaller behind them, but its legacy lived in every human's DNA. They were the children of the deadliest world in the galaxy. And the galaxy wasn't ready for them. After 3 months of faster-than-light travel, the Terran Hope's sensors detected something unusual near their destination. A massive structure floated in space, its design completely alien to human eyes. It sparkled like a crystal snowflake against the darkness of space. "What do you make of that?" Commander Stone asked Bill, who was studying the readings with intense focus. "It's definitely artificial," Bill replied, adjusting his glasses. "And it's giving off energy readings similar to the technology we found in the Antarctic ruins." The ship's communication system suddenly crackled to life. A strange, musical language filled the bridge. The computer worked quickly to translate it, using the language database they had built from the Antarctic findings. "Unknown vessels, you have entered Galactic Council space. Please identify yourselves." The translated voice sounded worried, almost frightened. Stone straightened his uniform and nodded to Tom at communications. "This is Commander James Stone of the Terran Hope. We represent humanity from the planet Earth. We come seeking a new home." There was a long silence. Then, "That's impossible. Earth is a Class 13 death world. No intelligent life could evolve there." The massive structure's docking bay opened slowly, like a flower blooming in space. Inside, they could see smaller ships and what looked like a space station. The voice returned, now shaking slightly. "Please dock your vessel. The Council Administrator will meet with you." Stone ordered the Terran Hope to dock, while the other 4 human ships maintained a safe distance. As the massive ship glided into the docking bay, everyone on the bridge gasped. Through the viewing windows, they could see the aliens for the first time. They were tall and thin, almost floating as they walked. Their skin seemed to shimmer with a pale blue light, and their movements were graceful but careful. They wore no protective suits, but carried what looked like breathing masks. "They're so fragile," Bill whispered, comparing their readings to Earth standards. "The gravity in this bay is only 1/3 of Earth's, and they're still moving like it's heavy." A delegation of 10 humans, led by Commander Stone, walked down the boarding ramp. The aliens visibly flinched as the humans' boots thudded heavily against the metal floor. Administrator Gray, as the alien leader introduced himself, stood at the head of a group of council representatives. "Impossible," Gray said, his large eyes widening even further. "You move as if this gravity doesn't affect you at all." "This feels quite light to us, actually," Stone replied carefully, trying to keep his voice soft after seeing how the aliens startled at loud noises. "We're used to much stronger gravity." The aliens led them to a meeting room, where they all sat around a large table, or tried to. The chairs cracked ominously under the humans' weight, designed as they were for much lighter beings. "Our records show that Earth has atmospheric pressure 30% higher than Council standard," Gray said, consulting a holographic display. "Temperature variations of over 140 degrees in your measurement system. Aggressive microorganisms, large predators, constant natural disasters. How did you survive? How did you become intelligent?" Stone smiled gently, noticing how the aliens leaned away slightly. "Those conditions made us what we are. We adapted. We evolved. Everything that tried to kill us just made us stronger." An alien scientist stepped forward, her movements delicate like a dance. "Your bone density is 5 times our standard. Your muscle mass is unprecedented. Your immune system—" She paused, checking her readings again. "Your immune system actively hunts pathogens. It's terrifying." "We mean you no harm," Stone assured them, spreading his hands in what he hoped was a peaceful gesture. The aliens watched the casual movement of his dense, powerful muscles with a mixture of fear and fascination. "No harm." Gray's voice trembled slightly. "Commander Stone, your very existence changes everything we thought we knew about life in the galaxy. The Council must be informed immediately. The species that conquered the deadliest world in known space has arrived." Stone looked at his fellow humans, seeing the same realization in their eyes. They had spent their entire history thinking they were normal, average, perhaps even weak compared to what they might find in space. How wrong they had been. The planet below looked harsh and uninviting to the Galactic Council members, but to human eyes, it was perfect. Rocky mountains reached toward the orange sky, while strong winds swept across vast plains. The gravity was slightly lighter than Earth's, and the air was thick enough to breathe. "You can't possibly want to settle here," Administrator Gray said, his delicate fingers tapping nervously on the observation window of the council station. "The gravity is dangerously high, and those winds would tear our buildings apart." Commander Stone smiled, watching as the first human shuttles descended toward the surface. "We're calling it New Terra. To us, it's practically a paradise compared to some places on Earth." The council had given humans permission to settle any uninhabitable world, never expecting them to choose this one. They watched in amazement as the first human construction teams worked in what they considered dangerous conditions. Mary, the head of construction, directed her teams as they built the first structures. The aliens gasped when they saw humans lifting heavy metal beams by hand, working through rainstorms, and digging deep foundations in the rocky soil. "Your people don't even wear protective suits," one alien observer noted, watching through high-powered cameras. "The dust, the temperature changes, the microbes." "We're built for this," Mary replied, wiping sweat from her forehead. "Our bodies handle temperature changes just fine, and our immune systems love a good challenge." Within weeks, the first city began to take shape. Human buildings were different from the delicate, crystalline structures the council races preferred. They were solid, sturdy, built to last through anything the planet could throw at them. Just like their builders. The real problem started during the diplomatic visits. A group of council diplomats came to tour the new colony. They wore protective suits to handle what they considered extreme conditions. Commander Stone led them through the streets, showing them the farms already starting to grow Earth crops in the mineral-rich soil. "Remarkable," said one diplomat, watching children playing in what they considered dangerous gravity. "Your young ones are so robust." Then came the incident that would be talked about across the galaxy. Stone was explaining Earth's farming methods when he automatically reached out to pat the lead diplomat on the back, a friendly gesture among humans. The diplomat crumpled to the ground with 2 broken ribs, his protective suit's alarms blaring. "Medical emergency." The other diplomats called frantically for help. Their horror grew as Stone easily lifted their injured colleague with one arm, carrying him to their shuttle faster than their medical team could respond. "I'm so sorry," Stone said later during the emergency council meeting. "We didn't realize. On Earth, that's a normal friendly gesture." The council chambers erupted in concerned whispers. The humans were starting to realize just how different they were. What they considered gentle, others saw as devastating strength. Their casual movements could cause serious harm. But it wasn't all bad. As word spread about the incident, something unexpected happened. Other species began to see opportunities in human capabilities. "Your people can work in conditions that would kill most species," Gray noted during a private meeting with Stone. "You can build in places we can't reach, lift things we can't move, survive things we can't endure." Stone nodded slowly. "We're learning too. We need to be more careful, more gentle, but we can help make the galaxy a better place. We can do things others can't." That evening, Stone stood on the balcony of the colonial headquarters, watching the double sunset. Human children played below, their laughter carrying on the strong wind. In the distance, construction crews were already starting work on the second city. A council observation ship hovered high above, its crew still amazed by how easily humans thrived in conditions they found terrifying. They were learning that strength came in many forms. The humans were no longer alone in the galaxy, but they were definitely unique. Their challenge now was learning to use their strength wisely, to help rather than harm, to build rather than break. They were the children of Earth, after all. They had learned to survive on the deadliest world in the galaxy. Now they had to learn how to live among those who hadn't. The Void Raiders thought it would be an easy target. A new colony, barely 3 months old, settled by an unknown species. Their fleet of 5 attack ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel near New Terra, expecting little resistance. They didn't expect the colony's warning sirens to be so loud it hurt their sensitive ears. They didn't expect the colonists to run toward their shelters in what the pirates considered crushing gravity, and they certainly didn't expect what happened next. Unknown vessels, Commander Stone's voice boomed over the communication channels. "This is a human colony. You are not welcome here. Leave now, or we will defend ourselves." The pirate leader, Captain Dex, laughed. His species had raided dozens of new colonies before. They always surrendered quickly. "You don't understand your situation," he replied. "Surrender your resources, and we might let you live." The pirates launched their first attack, blasting holes in the colony's outer buildings. They expected panic. Instead, they watched in confusion as humans ran through the decompressed areas without protection suits, holding their breath for what seemed like impossible amounts of time as they helped others to safety. "What kind of creatures are they?" one pirate gunner asked, watching through the targeting screens as a human worker lifted a fallen metal beam that should have needed heavy machinery to move. The pirates landed their smaller attack ships, sending out raiding teams. That's when they learned their biggest lesson about humans, the hard way. The raiders carried weapons designed to stun most species unconscious. The humans barely slowed down. Their denser muscles and stronger bones shrugged off impacts that would shatter normal beings. And when the humans fought back, they'd just keep coming. A raider screamed over the radio. "I broke one's arm, and it's still fighting." In the colony's main square, Mary from construction led a group of workers armed with nothing but tools. The pirates learned that a human swinging a simple steel wrench could crack their best armor. Their weapons specifically designed to cause pain met a species with unprecedented pain tolerance and a tendency to get angry rather than afraid when hurt. Captain Dex watched in horror from his ship as his raiding teams retreated in panic. Through the cameras, he saw a human take a direct hit from an energy weapon, get back up with burned armor, and throw a piece of machinery so hard it dented the hull of a raider ship. "What are you?" he demanded over the communication channel. "We told you," Stone replied calmly. "We're humans. We evolved on a world that makes this place look gentle. Did you think we survived Earth by being weak?" The horror stories spread quickly through the pirate ranks. They saw humans functioning in depressurized areas, continuing to fight with injuries that would kill most species, and displaying strength that seemed impossible. One human had ripped open a locked door with their bare hands to rescue trapped colonists. "Fall back," Captain Dex ordered. "Everyone back to the ships." But the humans weren't done. As the pirates retreated, they found their ship's engines damaged by precisely aimed mining explosives. Mary and her construction team had put their knowledge of structural weak points to effective use. "You can leave in one ship," Stone offered over the radio. "The others stay here as payment for the damage you caused. And spread the word. Human colonies are not easy targets." The pirates crammed into their remaining vessel, leaving 4 damaged ships behind. As they fled into space, they carried with them tales of creatures that seemed to ignore the basic laws of survival. Beings that treated fatal injuries as minor inconveniences, workers stronger than combat robots. After the raiders left, the humans simply went back to work. Children emerged from the shelters to help clean up debris. Construction teams began repairs, working through the night cycle without rest. To them, it was just another challenge to overcome. In the following weeks, the story spread through the galaxy's underworld. A new warning was added to pirate databases. Avoid human settlements. They are not worth the cost. They are not like other prey. They are the things that prey should fear. The Galactic Council's emergency meeting chamber was filled with nervous whispers. On the main screen, they watched recordings from the pirate raid on the human colony. Many council members shuddered as they saw humans performing what seemed like impossible feats. "They can't be allowed to expand further," declared Council Member Rex, his delicate frame trembling with emotion. "You saw what they did to those pirates. Their natural abilities make them living weapons." Administrator Gray stood up slowly. "The humans have shown no aggressive intentions. They defended themselves when attacked. Nothing more. Nothing more." Rex's voice rose sharply. A single human worker can tear through metal with their bare hands. Their children play in gravity that would crush us. We must act now, before they grow too powerful. Despite Gray's protests, the Council's hardline faction won the vote. They would launch a preemptive strike against New Terra, using weapons designed to subdue even the most dangerous alien species. Commander Stone was in his office when the first attack came. The sky turned green as the Council ships released their chemical weapons, gases that should have paralyzed any living thing. The humans coughed, their eyes watered, but they kept moving. Status report. Stone called through the colony's communication system. Sir, Mary responded from the construction zone. The gas is annoying, but our Earth-evolved lungs are filtering it out. We're adapting already. The workers haven't even slowed down. The Council forces watched in disbelief as their most potent weapons failed. Humans walked through clouds of nerve gas that would kill most species instantly. Their bodies adapted and developed resistance within hours. Impossible, Rex muttered, watching from the Council's command ship. Switch to gravitational weapons. Increase local gravity to crush them. The gravitational weapons activated, increasing New Terra's gravity to 4 times its normal level. The Council forces expected to see the humans pinned to the ground. Instead, they witnessed something extraordinary. Humans slowed down, but kept moving. Children were quickly moved to shelters, but adults continued their tasks, their powerful Earth-evolved muscles straining but adapting. Some even seemed to enjoy the challenge. Just like home, one human warrior said, lifting his weapon in the increased gravity. Feels like I'm back in the Earth's heavy gravity training rooms. The Council's forces tried everything in their standard military playbook. They used sound weapons that would rupture the organs of most species. Humans covered their ears and kept fighting. They tried temperature weapons to freeze the colony. Humans put on jackets and continued working. They attempted to use psychological warfare, but a species that evolved facing Earth's constant disasters had incredibly stable minds. We need to talk. Commander Stone's voice came through the Council's communication channels. You're not achieving anything except wasting your weapons. We survived worse than this every day on Earth. In the Council chamber, Gray finally managed to force a vote to stop the attack. The evidence was clear. Their weapons were useless against humans, and the humans still hadn't attacked back despite having every reason to do so. We don't want to fight you, Stone explained to the Council after they called for a ceasefire. Earth taught us something important. Survival is easier when you work together. We're different from you, yes. We're stronger in some ways. But we want to use that strength to help. As if to prove his point, human medical teams immediately offered to treat any Council forces injured during the attack. The Council members watched in amazement as humans gently used their incredible strength to help rather than harm. Perhaps, Gray suggested to the Council, we have been looking at this all wrong. The humans are not a threat because they are strong. They are a blessing because they are strong enough to protect others. Rex and his faction fell silent, finally understanding their mistake. They had feared humanity's power, not realizing that the same strength that made humans dangerous also made them invaluable allies. The Council had tried to destroy humanity's first colony. Instead, they had only proved what humans had known all along. The challenges that don't kill you really do make you stronger. 3 months after the failed attack on New Terra, the Galactic Council faced a threat they never expected. Strange ships appeared at the edge of Council space, their designs completely unknown. They didn't respond to any communication attempts. They simply attacked. The Council's first defense fleet was destroyed in minutes. The unknown ships used weapons that turned the Council's delicate ships into dust. World after world fell as the invaders advanced, their ships seemingly unstoppable. They're from the Andromeda Galaxy, Bill explained to Commander Stone, studying the data from fallen Council worlds. Their gravity weapons are beyond anything we've seen. Most species in our galaxy can't even survive in their ships. The Council chamber was in chaos when the human delegation arrived. Administrator Gray looked relieved to see Stone walk in. "The invaders have taken 12 worlds," Gray said, his voice shaking. "Our weapons don't work against their shields. Our people can't fight in their high-gravity environments. We need humanity's help." Stone watched the tactical display showing the invaders advance. "Tell me everything you know about them." The information was frightening, even by human standards. The invaders operated in gravity 3 times stronger than Earth's. Their ships were built to withstand pressures that would crush Council vessels. They seemed unstoppable. But humans had spent their entire history doing the impossible. "We'll need to modify our ships," Stone said, already forming a plan. "And I want volunteers from every Council race. It's time we taught you how to fight like humans." The next 2 weeks were intense. Human engineers worked with Council technicians to strengthen their ships. Human combat instructors taught Council soldiers how to fight even when their bodies seemed ready to give up. Most importantly, humans shared their most powerful weapon, their never-give-up attitude. "Pain is just information," Mary told a group of Council warriors. "It tells you you're still alive, still able to fight. On Earth, our ancestors didn't survive by being the strongest. They survived by not staying down when they got hurt." The invaders weren't ready for what came next. Their first encounter with a human-led defense force didn't go as they expected. When they boarded what they thought was a helpless Council ship, they found humans waiting for them. The invaders were strong, but they had never fought an enemy that evolved on a death world. They had never faced beings that treated broken bones as minor inconveniences or used their own blood loss as a reason to fight harder rather than retreat. "Push forward," Stone ordered as he led a boarding party onto the invaders' ship. The high gravity slowed the humans down, but didn't stop them. Behind them came Council warriors, inspired by human determination, fighting on despite their pain. The invaders retreated in confusion. Their sensors showed that the humans' bones should have been crushed in this gravity. Their weapons were hitting vital organs, but the humans kept coming. And the Council forces, usually so easy to break, were now fighting with desperate human courage. "We lost our first world," one invader commander reported back to their fleet. "They have demons on their side, creatures that don't follow the laws of biology. And they've taught the Council races to be like them." The tide of the invasion began to turn. Human ships, built to handle extreme conditions, could match the invaders in battle. Human warriors, used to fighting through pain and injuries, could beat them in combat. And human determination spread to their allies, teaching them that limitations were often just in the mind. "Victory isn't about being the strongest," Stone told a mixed group of human and Council troops after another successful battle. "It's about getting back up every time you're knocked down. That's what Earth taught us. That's what makes us human. And now, it's what makes us all stronger together." The invaders had come expecting easy prey. Instead, they found the children of Earth standing with the galaxy, teaching others how to overcome their fears and limits. They found that the deadliest world in the galaxy had created not just mighty warriors, but inspiring teachers. 1 year after the invasion began, the Galactic Council gathered for a historic meeting. The chamber looked different now. The chairs were stronger, the gravity was higher, and representatives from all species sat together, showing injuries and scars they would have once hidden in shame. Commander Stone stood at the center of the chamber, his uniform bearing the marks of recent battles. Next to him, Administrator Gray looked different too, stronger, more confident, though still delicate by human standards. "The invaders have retreated beyond the galaxy's edge," Stone reported. Their last message was clear. They won't return to a galaxy protected by Death World demons and our allies. The Council chamber erupted in cheers, something that would have been considered undignified a year ago. But things had changed. The galaxy had changed. When humans first arrived, Gray addressed the Council. "We feared them. We saw their strength and thought it meant danger. We were wrong. Their true strength wasn't in their dense bones or powerful muscles. It was in their spirit, and their ability to teach that spirit to others. Mary stepped forward, now wearing the badge of a council combat instructor. On Earth, we learned that surviving isn't about being the strongest. It's about adapting, working together, and never giving up. We didn't just survive Earth's challenges, we learned from them. The council members nodded in agreement. They had learned this lesson well over the past year. Humans had taught them that physical limitations could be overcome with determination and creativity. Look at us now. A council warrior spoke up, proudly displaying an arm that had been broken and healed in battle. A year ago, such an injury would have been a mark of shame. Now it's a badge of honor. The humans taught us that being hurt doesn't make you weak. Fighting through the pain makes you strong. Stone smiled as he remembered how far they had come. Council species now trained in higher gravity, pushing their limits safely. Their ships were stronger, their bodies more resilient, their minds more determined, all because they had learned to see challenge as opportunity, just as humans had learned on Earth. "We have a proposal," Gray announced. "The Council wishes to officially reclassify Earth. It is no longer to be called a death world. We propose a new classification, Crucible World, a planet that forges greatness through adversity." The vote was unanimous. As the classification changed in the galactic database, Stone thought about how much had changed. Humans were no longer seen as terrifying death world survivors, but as teachers, protectors, and friends. "There's more," Gray continued. "We're establishing a new galactic defense force. Mixed crews, mixed combat teams. Humans will train others to push their limits, while other species will teach humans their own unique strengths. Together, we're stronger than we ever could be apart." The chamber's main screen showed images from across the galaxy. Human construction teams helping rebuild damaged worlds, council species learning to work in higher gravity, mixed crews operating new ships, children from different species playing together despite their different physical abilities. "We came to the stars looking for a new home," Stone said, addressing the council. "We found something better. We found a family. Different species, different strengths, but united in the belief that challenges make us stronger." A young council member, who had fought alongside humans during the invasion, raised her voice. "Earth didn't just create survivors. It created teachers who showed us that our limits were mostly in our minds. Every species has their own kind of strength. Humans helped us find ours." As the council session ended, Stone walked with Gray to look out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Earth continued its eternal orbit, still the most challenging known world in the galaxy. But its greatest contribution wasn't the physical strength it gave humans. It was the lessons about perseverance, adaptation, and unity that humans could now share with the galaxy. "We're not just the children of Earth anymore," Stone said quietly. "We're the guardians of the galaxy, all of us together." Gray nodded, standing straighter despite the higher gravity. "And the galaxy is finally ready for us all."